So thank you again for joining us today. Since we have so much to get through today, I am going to get started. If everyone could, just for housekeeping purposes, you can have your cameras on, that's great. But if you could still remain on mute while we go through the course. We will have periods of time in which you can unmute and ask questions. You can also feel free to put any questions in the chat area as we're going through things. We'll be sure to address those when we get to our Q&A portion. But thank you so much for joining us. My name is Lily Shaw, and I'm the Director of Customer Experience with Startup Space. Startup Space is the scaffolding underneath BizHub, which is one of the exciting platforms you're going to hear about today. So just for housekeeping purposes, please note any questions can go into the chat. Keep yourself on mute. We are recording this session, but please know we're only recording for presentation view. So nobody in the gallery view will be seen. So thank you very much for your understanding with that. Now, next, I'm going to hand it over to Mitch, who's going to talk a little bit about what we're going to be seeing today. Mitch.
Thank you, Lily, and good morning, everybody. Thanks for taking some time out of your Monday morning. My name is Mitch Bienvenu, as Lily said. I'm the Director of the Small Business Development and International Trade Center at College of Lake County. We've been around for 37 years, and basically we exist to help small businesses to start and grow. And we do that in a number of ways, one of which is investments in tools. And we're going to talk about a couple of tools today that we're very excited about. And with me today, and I'll allow Eric Pfligler is obviously going to introduce himself when he gets into his portion, but I just wanted to point to him really quickly and say that Eric is kind of a peer of mine, and it operates or heads up a sister department at the College of Lake County called Talent Development Services. They also are very invested in small business success. And we have partnered with Startup Space, which is represented here by Lily and David. And they're the power behind this tool we're calling BizHub. So they work for Startup Space and they power BizHub. And so I'm excited to be talking with you all because small businesses are the economic engine that drive our economy across the nation. And here in Lake County, most of the businesses have 19 employees or less. And a lot of times those businesses don't, especially during a time like we've been through over the last year with coronavirus, it's difficult for them to have access to the resources that can help to make them successful. You know, some of the larger companies who weren't as adversely affected more readily have access to these tools. So one of the things we're really excited about is that we made an investment over the last year in some tools that we're now making available to any small business, all the way down to one person up to 500 employee companies have access to these tools that are provided at no cost. And we believe that they're going to be powerful, because if you're a small business owner and you want to grow your business and, you know, not only survive but thrive, you've got to be thinking about the future, and you've got to be thinking about how it is you're going to leverage the money and the time that you have to grow that business, right? How you're going to train your employees, how you're going to connect to all the resources that are around you. And that's what these platforms and these tools do. So one of the first ones we're going to talk about when I turn it over to Lily in just a minute here is called BizHub. It is a resource connectivity and community building tool, especially uniquely for small businesses. And nothing like that has existed in Lake County before, so we're super excited about that. And this is really what we're kind of launching this week is this tool. And then the other one that Eric Pfligler is going to go into some detail about is called TAD, Talent Assessment and Development. It's a platform that will enable you, a one-person business up to a 500-person business, to train and develop your employees. Again, provided at no cost at this particular moment because of the investment we made through the CARES Act. So that's kind of the overview of where we're at and what we hope to do. And I'm going to turn it back over to Lily now, and she's going to tell us, and I think David is going to talk with us a little bit, and then we'll start talking about BizHub, the platform. So back to you, Lily.
Excellent, Mitch. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it, and really pleased to be here with your community here today. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pass the conversation over to David Ponraj, my CEO of Startup Space. David.
Yep. Thank you, Lily, and great to see all of you, Mitch, Eric, the rest of you. Great to see you on the call today. Yes, we're so excited to have BizHub launch in your community. And like you said, Mitch, it's really about the small businesses, starting from a solopreneur, a lifestyle business owner, somebody tinkering with ideas in a garage, etc. How do you connect them with resources in the community? And I have experienced this myself as a small business, having started a business before where it was really hard to find resources in my community. And as we have these hubs across the country, we've heard resoundingly from small business owners and from our clients like you, Mitch, that finding resources sometimes can be the game changer to either your business flourishing or your business being impacted by things like COVID-19, et cetera. And I know you offer a lot of programs for COVID-19 support, recovery, helping people get back on their feet, et cetera. And we're hoping that Startup Space can be that tool in your community to help your small businesses. I have myself in the past talked to small business owners in other cities where they've been able to quickly find resources, also be able to find resources that were curated just for them. So it's not like going to Google and just searching for a CPA or a legal firm on this platform and being curated. So I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to be with you today and launch this BizHub.
David, excellent. Thank you so much. So today what I'm going to do, everyone, is I'm going to actually show you how to find BizHub. I'm going to show you how to explore some of the things that are very forward-facing and easy to find for BizHub. And then I'm going to show you how to get into your actual profile, because all of you who registered today have received a profile and would have received a temporary password to be able to log in. And again, this is totally free. What I want to show you once you're in there, from your profile, some of the other additional things you can access, like peer-to-peer connectivity. You can access a toolkit of resources for yourself that you can use to help build your business. And then, of course, being able to filter through resources based on your interest and so on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And of course, sometimes I have a little bit of issue sharing my screen and I'll share the wrong one, or I'll think you'll see it and you don't. So if somebody could just, if for any reason I'm talking about something, you don't see what I think you're supposed to, please say something. I don't mind you unmuting at all. All right, so just 1 second as I get everything ready. So the first place I want to take you to is, of course, the programs and your College of Lake County SBDC International Trade Center page. So you'll notice on this main splash page, you see BizHub right here. This is one of the locations where you can always go to reach BizHub, but I'm going to show you some other ways as well. So there's a lot of different entry points to BizHub. And please remember, it's always a scaffolding to Startup Space. Startup Space is a scaffolding to BizHub. So when I click right here on BizHub, I'm going to be redirected right to the BizHub main page, where it talks a little bit about what BizHub does. You can also learn just a little bit about how Startup Space is collaborating with BizHub. All the time seeing this Get Connected right down here. I'm going to show you what Get Connected means in 1 second, but I also want to show you, as you go down right over here, there's a series of different resources, anything from a resource compass to events, to a knowledge center, and to community stories. So all these are very accessible and easy to find right from the BizHub page. No need to log in or anything right here, but I am going to show you the benefits of being able to log in, and we'll get into a little bit more detail as to how to search with these resources. But if you look right through here, all of these different, very easy, accessible pages, taking you to a community calendar of events in your area, knowledge center, and community stories. So as you are going to see some repeat of this within the BizHub when you log in as well, but I want to show you one step further. So if you go into Connect with Us, this is our Join Us page. So for all of you who actually did register for this event, you would have received a temporary password. And so you'll be able to sign in right here. In addition, If you have any friends that you'd like to share this with, you could share this link right here and they would be able to register here as well. So we're just going to go right in and we're going to log in. You always want to make sure people know you're not a robot, right? And this is going to take me right into my profile. So Lily Price has a profile here within your Lake County, Illinois community. And what's great about this is this homepage right here is really powered by how you choose to identify yourself in your profile. So local events will come up that you might be interested in. Suggested resources will come up, even articles that might be of interest to you based on how you identify yourself. So I'm going to scroll right back up here to the main area here, and I'm going to show you how within your toolkit over here, you're going to be able to identify how you like to interact within your business community so that it can power and bring some additional resources to you. And then once I'm done showing you that, I'm going to show you a little bit more about the Ask Us section. I'm going to show you a little bit more about the toolkit, as well as over here on the left-hand side, the My Community and how these all work together. So the first thing that's most important is the edit profile. So the reason I bring up the profile is because this aspect of the profile is really going to be how other members can find you in the community and how you can actually have really important information be shown to you. So you're able to put in any details that you want. You can always hide your email if you like, or your phone number, but letting people know a little bit about yourself. You can let people know what languages you speak. It's always important to click active community members so people know that you can actively be reached. And you can also talk about your industry. Areas that you are interested in are extremely important. As you note those areas of interest, that's really going to start bringing forward some of the things that might be of interest to you, as well as your areas of expertise, because by pointing your areas of expertise, others will be able to find you if they're searching for a mentor in a particular area or just searching for other members in the community to get advice or support from. You also have the opportunity to select your persona, how you work within the community. Now, I'm not a student, but I just wanted to have I created a profile so you could kind of see what that looks like. But if I changed my persona, it's going to bring up a few different things for me. You can also have a secondary and a tertiary persona here. And these areas also help power your experience. Now, you want to remember always to update your profile. Once you update your profile, it's actually going to take you to your profile. And this is how people see you within the community as well. We're going to talk a little bit about what these badges here mean and also some of these other tools right over here. So I'm going to go back to the home page. The home page, again, is always the location that's going to power your experience, as I was mentioning before. Now, one of the things I want to point out to you is the other tools that are in your toolkit. These are specifically for you to help you with your business. They're either tools that work directly with other features that are on the platform, or tools that will just enhance your experience and things that you can use to help build your business. Potentially things that you could use while you work with a mentor. You have an inbox to receive messages from other members on the platform. Also, if you do reach out to a member from the member directory, which I'll show you how to do it, those emails will go directly to their email. So it's not caught right in the platform. To respond, we do recommend you log in. Any type of tickets that you purchase on here would be right in your ticket location. And then, of course, I'm going to come back to the leaderboard in a second because we have some exciting things to talk about with the leaderboard that will happen at the end of this week. You can share your venture with individuals. So your venture could be your business, your idea. Maybe it's your startup that you're just at a certain phase with. It asks you some specific questions and then allows you to share the information with other members, maybe a mentor or an advisor on the platform. You can upload files, maybe presentations that you're going to give so that they're at one place. You could upload a file and share it with a mentor or with another business advisor. And then Business Model Canvas is a special tool where you can iterate and be able to work on your business model canvas. Later on this week, we're going to be working with having a presentation by a member of your community that's going to talk about how to use the business model canvas to be able to pivot your business. If you wanted to, you could just click right on here You can add new by just writing down the short name of your business. You then can go in and clicking on the pencil, you can edit this. This is editable throughout the entire course. And let's say you've never used the business model canvas before and you're unaware of kind of how the different segments work. You can very quickly go in and learn more. And it's going to redirect you right to our Knowledge Center, which actually talks about some key elements about those key activities so that you can go back in and complete it, save it. And let's say you want to, you have a meeting with another mentor or advisor, or just you're in a class, maybe one of the TAD training sessions. You can share it right here with anybody that is on Startup Space. But just a few tools that you can kind of play with and use to help elevate your business, in addition to the Biz Wizard, which I'll get to in 1 second. So I want to move right back up here to the Ask Us section. So just to be clear, on the My Community, Ask Us is just a one click away from all the areas of My Community. Over here in My Community, all of this aspects is ADA compliant. So we like to make sure that we're accessible by everyone. So let's say you wanted to connect with your community, or in the My Community, we call it Connect Now. So this is a community peer-to-peer forum where you could connect with Mitch, other members of his community. You can post a quick message. We want to encourage all of you to do that. You can introduce yourself. You can share upcoming events that are going on, share a little bit about your business, quickly post that, and it will be noted right in the stream. And people can follow you. They can respond to you. We've seen great partnerships come about. We've seen advice given in other communities. So it's a great way to get that peer-to-peer support 24/7. In addition to the Connect Now, if you go right down one more step, you have the member directory. So the member directory is where you can access all the other individuals that are in your community. So you could reach out to Bruce. You could follow him. You could message him, introduce yourself. Maybe Bruce has a particular area of expertise in communications and marketing, and you really want to ask him advice about that, connect with him about how to do that. So there's a lot of ways that you can connect with other individuals. You can either also look at his LinkedIn profile. You could try to get on his calendar, which he has shared here. So just a lot of really great ways to be able to reach out when you're looking for specific people. The other great thing about the member directory is, assuming how somebody has identified themselves, you can select by your interest. You can select by people's personas. So if you're looking for a mentor or a lender, a nonprofit, you can also search by language if you'd like. Our entire platform is able to be translated in numerous different languages. So you can select here to see if somebody speaks that language, but also know you can translate in different areas of the features. And I'll show you how to do that. Just right up here in the upper right-hand corner, select language, and you can translate the entire platform. So in addition to the member directory, we believe resources are not only individuals, your local peer-to-peer community, all other individuals in your community, but also resources. In our resource compass, you can search based off of the name of an organization, if you know it, or you could search an interest. So let's say I was interested in funding. I want to narrow down the 16 pages of, that are in there and search for funding. It will narrow it down to local organizations within your community that work in the funding sector, either anything from banks, angel investing, or to other areas of funding. If instead I wanted to search for expertise or industry, let's say I was looking for education and training, I could search right here, click search, and look, our next presenter, TAD, comes up with that. So there's a lot of different ways to be able to search within here based off of what you're looking for. If you are a resource provider yourself, you also have the ability to submit your resource here for consideration to be put onto the platform. So please feel free to, if you are a resource provider, submit your listing so Mitch and his team can review it and get it accessible to all the others that are searching. If you're a resource provider in which we've already built your resource out, you can actually go in here and click claim your resource. You can select the name of your resource and then submit that to claim it, which means you then have access to be able to work on your business resource page and set special settings in this area. I want to go down to the next area, which is events. So you'll notice in here we have a series of events. And again, we have these same filters where you can search by interest, expertise, industry. All of these events, we're going to continue to put a community calendar here so you can quickly access the things that would be important to you and when they're coming up. One thing I want to point out right away is we have an event tomorrow that goes along with this launch. You could reserve a ticket right here for growing your business with seed, Series A, B, and C funding, and that will be presented by David Ponraj tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central. So you can go in here, reserve that ticket if you haven't yet, and that will appear right into your tickets in your homepage as well. In addition to events, we also like to include stories because we know that resources aren't just about people. They're about people, but they're also about people's stories and experiences. So we're going to be sharing stories here, working with Mitch to make sure that we're telling some local entrepreneurial stories. So keep your eye out for that. In addition, we have the Knowledge Center. And the Knowledge Center is where you can access materials that might give you a little bit more detail, checklists, information about COVID funding resources, how to successfully grow your business, or some simple guides about how to build your business or access special things within your community. So the Knowledge Center, in cooperation with the Resource Compass and Events Member Directory, and the Connect Now are all the resources that come together in one place from your homepage and are ways for you to access what's important to you at that time that you need it. Now, one quick thing I want to show you, as I showed you all of those little areas, we have a leaderboard. So if you click right in the toolkit in the leaderboard, this shows people who are accessing different things. You see Bruce, he's got some pretty high points in the community. It shows you different things that are up for grabs. And we have a special prize. At the end of this week, all the individuals who have 500 points or above will be put into a drawing for a special prize to be announced at the end of this week. So ways that you can get those points going are all directly associated with some of the things that I showed you today. Some hints I'll give you are maybe if you posted in Connect Now, or you registered for another event, or fully filled out your profile. Doing all those different things within the platform help you gain points and help you get to that over 500 to be in this special drawing. So I'm going to pause right here and I'm going to stop sharing my screen briefly because I'd like to see if anybody has any questions about what they've seen today, and I'd be happy to jump back in or give more of an explanation. Any questions? I'd like to ask, are people on the phone currently more resource providers, or are you entrepreneurs? I think it's a little combination of both. But I hope you enjoyed seeing what you saw today with BizHub. We look forward to seeing you explore in there. By introducing yourself in the Connect Now, we'll be able to continue to connect with you. In addition, it will give you some points for that leaderboard. So if any questions pop up as we're going through the rest of our time today, please feel free to throw it in the chat section. I will put in the splash page of how to access BizHub or how to log in so that you can continue to remain engaged. I'll also put a little information about Startup Space over there and our .us page where you can access tutorials on how to leverage the platform and also our help desk. But thank you so much for letting me show you a little bit about BizHub powered by Startup Space. I'm now going to turn it over to Mitch, who can introduce our next speaker.
Thanks, Lily. So I mentioned Eric earlier. Eric is the manager of the Talent Development Services Department within the College Lake County and provides an awful lot of high quality, reasonably priced training and development opportunities for, again, any size business, one employee up to 500. So Eric is going to talk to us about a platform that I mentioned earlier called TAD, which stands for Talent Assessment and Development. And it's a tool that we have invested in, and we are now making available to all our small businesses that will help you in your efforts to build your own skills as a business owner, operator, and if you have employees, the skills of your employees. And before I turn it over to Eric, I just want to make one additional comment about what it means to be an entrepreneur, because I was one myself. For 17 years, I started and grew a couple of companies. Some were failures and a couple of them worked out okay. And you learn along the way, right? So as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, operator, my advice to you is to make it a point of always being a student. There is you as the owner operator, you don't have to do everything yourself, but you have to know what needs to be done. And so education and training about all the things involved with entrepreneurship is critical. And just make your mind up that you're going to be kind of a lifelong learner, and that you'll learn what it takes to be successful, and then you surround yourself with people who can help you carry that out. Okay. And so Eric is one guy who you want on your success team, because he's got a tool that I think is going to be really beneficial to you. So I'll turn it over to Eric to tell us about TAD.
Thank you, Mitch, and thank you, Lily. So yes, welcome, and thank you, Mitch. So let me start from the beginning on what TAD is. Now, Mitch mentioned a couple things about entrepreneurs and us being your partner, which is what TAD will become. So what TAD came from is a talent management system. Now, I'm going to just give you one boring sentence, and none of the rest will be boring. So talent management, what it is process solutions to recruit, manage, train, and develop businesses' most important asset. I may be biased, but I think it's the people. So if you agree with me, now talent management systems, technology, assessments, training are typically available to large businesses because of cost. So that leaves us about 96, 97% of businesses in this country can't afford a talent management system and processes. So that's what TAD is. We designed TAD to break down those barriers to small businesses. So one of the best ways to think about what TAD is think of an affordable training partner for your business. So TAD is your partner, okay, your HR training partner that's going to do the work to set up, manage, and deliver an employee development system. Employee development, training, kind of go hand in hand, a system. So TAD is, again, your partner. We are breaking down the technology costs, so you have access to technology platforms. We're breaking down the barrier to assessments. If you want to identify where you are, your strengths, any opportunities you may have. If you're looking to upskill yourself, get into a new area of your business, and you want to see where you are today, maybe assess yourself in those key skills that you will need to succeed, we can bring that expertise to you. And then we help with all the analytics, the reporting to save you time, which saving time is money, right? So let me get into the demo, and I will just kind of run through the platform. And Lily, I'm just going to set my timer for 20 minutes about, and we'll go from there. So and Lily, I'm going to try to do my best. It's same as you. Share the right screen, right?
I'll unmute, so I'll let you know when I can see it.
All right, good. All right, thank you. Okay, so I am going to talk about really the four main areas of TAD. And I'm going to focus on the training delivery portion. So this is the homepage of TAD. I am actually logged in as Aaron Kurtz. He's our executive director of WPDI. So let me start over under my desktop. Okay, number one, development planning. So we offer individual development planning. Take skill assessments. We provide about 30 pre-built assessments. So again, we're providing the expertise. I'm going to bring up a list. I'm going to zoom in one more time. Pre-built, they're competency-based assessments. They're all behavior-based. They're all observable. You can measure them. Okay. So we offer individual contributor assessments. If you're in office, retail, we'll have a senior leadership, something for managers. We do have an entrepreneur. So if you're an entrepreneur, you could come in, take that assessment to identify, and those would be the key skills to be a successful entrepreneur. And how these are built is over 20 years of experience, almost 1 million assessments, people like Mitch who have been an entrepreneur and have succeeded. So those are the key skills you will need. So it's just there to help you identify some key skills. And then from there, you can go on to get some training, some coaching, attend the webinar to help yourself. And then down, I'll just keep the screen open and let you look a little bit. And then one other area about assessments we have, because I'm not going to get into too much detail, is we also have, these are job assessments. So human resource specialist, take an assessment. The manager, you can take an assessment. We will also have assessments based on specific training workshops. So if you're thinking about attending a business decision workshop, there is a assessment you can take for that to help you identify where your strengths and weaknesses are before you even attend the training. But another great way is the facilitator can also take those results to better customize training. So I won't get too into details on that one. So those are our assessments. The third area, skills report. So this takes your assessment and wraps it all into a report. Now we have reporting at an individual level and then also for an organization, okay? And then our learning activities, that is our training library. So first I will focus on that. Now, as Mitch mentioned, what we're doing is your training partner. So we're doing the work to set up, manage, and deliver. So we're doing all the work to vet all the training through. So if you're in TAD and you come across a training, you could have high confidence that it is quality training. Everything's vetted. You can't just put anything on. We don't allow outsiders to come in and just post things on our training library. So everything is vetted, very high quality. So main page here, if you notice this little yellow highlighted section, search by keywords, and I'm going to go across, search by facilitator coach. You could search by facilitator. If you're looking to work one-on-one with a coach, you could search that way and find a coach to work with. Development area, okay. Back to the skills we were talking. Let's say we were looking to upskill our communication skills. I could click communicating, and then I can dig even a little deeper. What part of communication? Maybe I wanted business writing, all right? Then you can even go one step further. So TAD offers 8 different modalities. So down at the bottom, as you notice, we have audiobook, book, on-site training, okay, over on the right, virtual training. So not one delivery method. We have books, we have on-site training, we have e-learning, we'll have webinars, instructor-led, self-paced, and so forth. So back to my example. I'm interested in communication, specifically business writing. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm comfortable in my pajamas. I'm going virtual training. And then there you go. So your options come up. Grammar and punctuation looks good, but business writing essentials looks even better. If I click on it, that takes you to that specific workshop entry. You can see from the top, it will give me the star rating that everyone's really comfortable and used to with nowadays online. Tells me the duration. It will give me an individual fee if it is one. There will also be an on-site fee / contract fee, because anything in TAD you can purchase privately. So you could have, we can come on site to your business or do it virtually. So you could purchase it privately, a private group, or you could register through our open enrollment classes, which I'm going to get into next. Okay, the overview. And if I was interested in it right here, I'd be able to register for it. Okay, and I'll just scroll down a little bit. The information we provide, objectives, we'll create the course outline. Sometimes we'll have success stories in there, testimonials. We always link it back to what skills. Okay. And reviews down at the bottom. Now back to the open enrollment. So in TAD, there is 3 ways to receive training. One is micro learning, so that will be self-paced e-learning, and I'm going to get into that. But the other two ways, the other two ways are through contract, okay, privately, or our upcoming classes over here on the right, which is upcoming classes / open enrollment. So what is open enrollment? What it is right now we have 100 plus companies subscribed to TAD. So we have 100 different companies and all of the employees within those companies. So what the upcoming classes are, they are open to all the TAD members, all the companies and their employees. Okay, so it's open, but still closed to the TAD community. Now what that does, one big thing, it allows us to bring small businesses very high quality training that's normally not accessible to small businesses because of the price. I'll throw a number out there of project management, $12,000 a day to have it come on site or do it virtually. Not a lot of companies can afford that. Or maybe a small business, project management again, would love to do something, but they only have one project manager. They don't have 50 like a big business does. So there again, there's that barrier. How do the small businesses receive that high quality training? And there's other examples. So what this does, this solves the problem. So what we can do is schedule a project management workshop. Now all the businesses in TAD and all their employees can register for that at an individual basis, right? Just individual seats can register for it. Now they can receive the same type of training as the large businesses. So that's one of the big benefits of that, and that's what we do. And I'm going to show you one more thing here about the upcoming classes. Whenever you're in the library searching, I'm on Excel Intermediate. We have a class coming up tomorrow at 8 a.m. tomorrow. This request development, and this is tying back into what do we decide to offer as far as open enrollment, okay? We're in April. How did we determine what's going to be offered in May? Well, there's two main factors. Number one, the request development. This is here if I can't make April 27th on this date, so I'll have request development, okay? Mitch and I receive that information, okay? Now there's also another way, if you're just searching the library, excuse me, there's now can't find what you're looking for button. I'll actually show it to you down at the bottom, okay? So you can always request some training. If you don't find it in the library, okay, it's always down at the bottom, request training. So that gets compiled into a big report. I can see everything. So it's quite a bit of information. You know, like I said, there's over 100 companies in the system so far, over 1,000 users. So it can add up quickly, which is fantastic. All right. Now there's one other part to it. So remember, we have the training request, I'm going to call it. So this is everybody's requesting either a new date or a different type of training. And then we have our second part, which is the assessments. Now, the companies and the employees in here, they can take the assessments, they get all of the results. But what happens on our end is we get a combined report that identifies, I'm going to call them skill gaps. So once you take an assessment, you have your skill gaps, you also have your strengths. So we can identify skill gaps across the county, okay, because we got everything combined. So now we're identifying maybe business writing's the skill gap across the county. So we're taking training requests and skill gaps and putting those two together, and that determines what we're going to offer for open enrollment, okay? So in April, I'll look at the report in actually a couple of days now. If I see on there 20 people that are requesting Excel advanced training, I'm going to go and schedule it for May. And then they'll get contacted and say, hey, we listened to you. We have this workshop. You can sign up for it. Okay. Same thing back to the assessment data. We're seeing a big skill gap. Okay. We either could do a couple things. We can schedule a workshop because it's a skill gap and we need to do that. And then we're going to offer it. And then if we don't have something, we're going to create it. Right. So very cool things we're doing, very powerful. We're not just pulling stuff out of a hat and hoping you may like it or find it useful. So again, we're using training requests, so what people want, but what also people need. Okay. Now, what I'm going to go into next is just really briefly on the skill assessment, and I'm going to jump into the microlearning. So the skill assessments, as I mentioned, we have about 30 pre-built assessments. Then I'll show you the best part, which is the skills report that puts it all together. So if you take an assessment, and they're unlimited, and you're allowed up to 4 assessors, including yourself. So if you took one, you can invite 3 others, whether that's internally or externally in your assessment, and it's unlimited. There's no number of how many you can take. So the skills report, you have your directions. All right, it will identify your top 5 skills. Development priorities, so a little different than skill gap, not to get too technical and boring, but the difference between a skill gap and a development priority is the priority is what you need to work on first today. In our assessment, our models, they're weighted. The skills are weighted of what's most important. So for example, manager, supervisor, you would probably all agree with me that their communication skills would probably be more important than Microsoft Office skills. Office, yes, they're still going to use it. They'll be on Word, but communication would definitely be rated higher as a skill. I think you would agree with me. So that's the difference. So that's how you become priorities, because you have desired performance levels and skill weights. Our assessments support open-ended comments, which is fantastic and great while you're reading them and going in to decide what you're going to develop on. Now, the best part is development recommendations. So TAD, we're not, with the assessments, it's not just identifying, hey, you have a skill gap here, good luck, go find something. So what it does is TAD is integrated in every area, whether it's development planning, the training library, the assessments, everything's integrated, it all works together. So in this section of the report, development recommendations, all right, again, it is telling you your priority. So business writing for this assessment is identifying as business writing being #1 priority. And then it's going to list what we have. Here's a learning day we have coming up in May. It's free to attend. Here's business writing essentials. Let's pretend I was interested in that. After reading my open-ended comments, I know for myself, I'll read more. And then that takes you directly back to the library, that specific entry. And if it looks interesting, I'm going to click on the facilitator, read a little bit about them. Michael Sugarman here, sounds good, good credentials, good history, been all over the world, 3,000 plus days training, fantastic, sounds good to me. I'll register. It's as simple as that. And then you're in the workshop. Okay. Now just a couple more things. I'm going to go into micro learning and then a couple future capabilities coming up. So our micro learning, back to the third way, this is e-learning. Now you can purchase these per seat, individual. This is the best thing though, again, for the small business, how we're breaking down barriers. We partnered with one of the leaders in this space, but what you cannot do is call them up and go, I want to buy 1 seat or 1 license. I just want to have access for a month or a year. You can't do it. You have to buy minimum. So you're looking at $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 depending on who you're talking to. So what does TAD do? TAD breaks down that barrier. So you, even an entrepreneur starting out, it doesn't matter, 5 people, you can buy 1 seat, okay? So our e-learning / micro-learning are bite-sized courses. They average about 7 minutes, and that's what micro-learning means. It's just-in-time training. They're trying not to flood the learner. Okay, bite-sized learning is what you get. And we have almost 3,000 courses, like 2,900 something. The number isn't what's great, okay? It's just the range of what we have and the ability to find specific training that you may need. So I pulled up the course catalog, starting over on the left, business planning, down to business skills. Okay, I'll leave it up on the screen, let you take a look. Okay, so I'm going to use software skills as an example. It's a pretty large library, and starting from here, Excel data with pivot tables, Excel for Mac Basics. Now, if we focus on the first one, data analysis with pivot tables, it says 15 courses. So it's, again, 15 mini courses, all right? It's like taking the subtopics of something and that's a course, but it's fantastic, okay? When you're trying to go back, if you forgot how to do something, you're trying to learn something, it's fantastic because they're just broken up in short little areas, all right? And we have broad range. Back to this left column, Gmail Essentials, Intro to Gmail, SharePoint, Google Drive, OneNote, MS Teams. But let me give you an example. I actually used it yesterday. I was doing something with pivot tables. Okay, so if you log in, let me go way back to the beginning. You log in, you're forgetting some of the pivot tables, you could start searching. Okay, and then as you start typing, it's going to start trying to guess what you want here. Okay, so create a pivot table. If you forgot how to create a pivot table, you type that in, and then it takes you to that little short section, that video. It's just what you need. Okay. One other part about it is groups, is what you can do as an admin, is you can assign courses. If you wanted to do something with onboarding, you can do that. Okay, down here at the bottom, I have an onboarding. This is just a demo, so it's not filled too much, but onboarding. I could come in here, select some courses where I want my team to go through when I'm onboarding them. If I want to make it required that they go through it, I can do that. So a little more to it, but not too much more. It's pretty simple. Again, with TAD, when you have your membership, it's just individually, you could purchase either a seat for a month or for a year. You can do that, and you get access to almost 3,000 courses. Okay. All right, and so the last thing I'd say is we are about the memberships. We are giving away free memberships, 365 days to businesses up to 500 employees. So for 365 days, you get access to it. I'd highly recommend you could come check it out. And what we're doing for any new, it's 20 this month. If for the first 20 that subscribe to TAD, it's a short application. I think it's 5 or 6 questions. You will get a free seat to the micro learning. So one free seat to the micro learning, you'll get it for 30 days to try it out, see if you like it. Okay. Are there any questions? I'll stop sharing. Any questions?
Eric, can you share the link? Eric,
yes,
can you share the link over in the side so that anyone who wants to could register for those awesome seats?
Definitely.
Awesome.
We'll do that. I was going to do that. I'll put it in the chat.
Let me tell you, I could relate to that pivot table. That would have been really helpful to me a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. I actually keep it up when it's nice, but it's so nice because
I like how you use your own tool. Awesome.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah. So I don't see any questions in the chat. I don't think I missed anything. So any questions? Back to Mitch, back to Lily. Is that where we're going?
Well, I'll just say a couple of things before we wrap up here. I want to thank you all for coming, and just know that these wonderful resources are available to you at no cost. I don't really see a downside to using them, frankly. And so my urge to you, my challenge to you is to check them out for yourself, see how they work. There's absolutely no commitment one way or the other. It's really up to you to see what value there is in these tools and hopefully, gain that value to help you be more successful. So that's all I have to say. I want to thank you again for the time. Lily, do you have anything to say that you want to to close?
Yeah, just one last thing before we wrap up today. Thanks so much for joining us. I do want to mention that we have events each day this week that is going to be celebrating BizHub launching, along with, of course, TAD. Over on the side and the chat, I've just saved, I just put in the registration for our seed funding event tomorrow at 9 a.m. So please register if you haven't yet. On Wednesday, we're going to be learning about Venture Validator and how that can support you within the community. On Thursday, the new business model, Plan and Pivot, which will be leveraging how to use the business model canvas. And then on Friday, Restaurant Reboot. With so much support for restaurants coming out soon, this restaurant reboot is really going to help you understand how to reboot your restaurant. So please register for all those free events, learn more about what's in your community, and I really hope to see you not only log in to your profile on BizHub and start interacting. You can actually reach Eric in BizHub and say hi to him. And of course, we will be listing any type of TAD events in that calendar as well. But as you notice, you can search for TAD right within BizHub in the resource compass. So please feel free to reach out to Eric as well. But thank you everyone for joining us today. It's a great way to start a Monday. And please spread the word to the rest of your community, because the only way these wonderful platforms are going to get out to the community is if community members talk about them as well. So please let them know about BizHub and TAD and spread the word. That's all I got, Mitch. I'll hand it over to you to say goodbye.
All right, folks, that's it. Thanks again for the time. Have a great rest of the week, and hopefully we'll see you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in our upcoming sessions.
Fabulous. Thank you, everyone.